hello. I'm here. I'm here. Hello. Hello. Hello everyone, good evening, welcome to another stream of Plane Shift. Our game. Yup. If you don't know, we have a release out, which is 0752, was done the 18th of November, so it's still very fresh. And here is the list of all the stuff that we added to the release. High level, pretty much we have a new helms, textures and some fixes to the existing helms. We have a city that has been populated with a lot of new furniture, and I think it looks way better than before. We have some improvement to random event generation, new skins for some monsters and a lot of fixes, and also we have the new cards. We have the new cards. Wait, the music was a bit too loud. The new cards that you can get from this warehouse, and yeah. Yup. So there is some good stuff in the new release, so if you want to check it out, you can. We continue to work on this game because we like it. We don't have any particular, final objective or whatever. I mean, we're just making it better and enjoying the fact that people like it, right? It's always nice to see people playing the game and asking questions about the game and organizing events and such. So it's always very nice. So did we have oh, I don't see it though. Because we did it on Google Docs. Let me see 1 second. Wait. Yeah, exactly. Is here. So we did some reasoning on the value of everything, right? The value of everything was an initial reasoning that we did on how to price the items in the game and how to assign a value. I mean, I would like, if possible, to assign it automatically. Now, I don't know if it's that easy, but yeah, the idea would be that the basic items are priced based on the rarity, the time to harvest it, and things like that, while the composed item, like for example the potions, right, that are made of multiple ingredients that you have to gather, right, it's just the sum, right, of those prices plus the additional time it takes to craft. So I mean, I don't know if we can really develop a full algorithm, but yeah, the idea would be that this pricing is pretty much automatic, right? So I don't want to go and price every single item, also because we have really thousands of items, right? So, and I don't think I can price them one by one. But for sure, our economy is pretty broken, right? So we have a lot of millionaires in the game, and I think we need to change that. So there should be a cycle of economy. I mean, a proper economy, right? So that the people consume and the people produce, right? And we need to, I think we also need to decide kind of a money sinks, right? Money sinks is are items that are costly somehow and are required, well, not required, but anyway, they may be interesting to players and so they spend money on it, right? So for example, pets, right? Pets could be a money sink. Furniture could be a money sink, right? Furniture for the guild house, for example, right? Skins can be a money sink. Skins or anyway customization, right? Customization. And I think that all the enchantments, like when you want to enchant a weapon or you want to so those are, so and definitely repair, right? Repair and decay is a money sink, right? Yeah, repair decay is a money sink for sure. I don't remember this column, indirect value, what we said. You need to hide my luxury skin. Very luxurious, I agree. Did we get a new sub? Did we have 10 sub? I think it was 9 the other day, no? Mystery. Real mystery. Is there a way to go dark theme on this? Because my eyes are already... Jeez. So much better. Yeah, actually these are money sink, right? So if you yeah, I don't know why I put it here inside direct value buy sell, direct value receive. I think, sorry, I think I want to do it differently because I think that these ones are obviously money sinks, right? And also I think that if I have to choose, you know, which ones are more relevant is are probably these ones, right? So that, I mean, when you have to buy your equipment, right? Now, I don't know if all the equipment is actually something that you can directly loot fully from monsters, right? It is something that I have to think about, but if you can just loot everything and so you don't have to buy anything, but I think there is stuff that you have to craft, right, to get it higher quality. I don't understand too much this indirect value. You know what? I think I'm going to delete this. So it is the money that you receive, and it is the money that you spend, right? In terms of direct value. And then there could be some indirect value, yes, but... so what we said in this formula, right? It was that the price that we decided was the expected player time to obtain 1 unit of the item in hours, considering the average skill. So for example, if we have Yeah, 100 out of 200 max, yes. So if the item drops from an activity with a chance of P per attempt and average attempt per hour TA, then T becomes TA plus the travel time divided by the attempts divided by P, where the travel time is in hours from the main city. Okay. W is our designer baseline per hour value. Currency units per hour. How much in-game currency the average player is expected to earn per hour from a routine play. Set per player type and progression tier. And then CP is what? Is the production, is production divided by crafting cost. What? No, it's the crafting cost. This slash is, it means ore. Production or crafting cost in resources converted to currency via resource sale value or resource production time multiplied by W. This one is not super clear to me. Okay, so to make an example, right? Let's make an example, right? Let's make an example. Let's make an example. Nah. Wrong person. Okay, this is the right person. So for example, right? Obviously it is night, but we can make it day. We can make it day, my boys. So for example, here we have some apple plants, right? Is it describing the plant or is it describing the actual? Okay, that's probably not the, I mean, it's giving the description of the item you will harvest, right? But this is a good example, right? This is the basic, this is a basic item, right? So the question is how much time it takes me to go from the main city to from the center of the city to this place, right? And now you may say, oh, there are multiple there are multiple apple trees scattered around, so in reality, but I think that is already a good enough test, right? So if I go from here, right? I mean, it's just a test to understand if this thing makes sense or not. So let's start the chronometer, right? A chronometer, how do you say that? Let's start it now, right? Okay, I started it, right? So we are running from the main part of the city to this resource spot, right? Following the main road, just because I think is the easiest. I will follow the road just to have a... Okay, and here we are, right? So here we are in the center of the city. So it took 1 minute and 06, let's say, okay? 1 minute and 06, so 66 seconds, right? 66 seconds. So we can say that our T, well, actually our T is this thing, right? Is if the item drops from an activity with chance P per attempt and average attempt time TA hours, then TTA travel time attempt divided by P. Yeah, because actually, you know, when you are there, you don't automatically get the apple, right? Which is another problem. Oh, beautiful helm, by the way, Moren. Congratulations to your new helm. I really like it. Now, the problem is, do we consider... Because we said that we should consider the average skill, right? We should consider the average skill to harvest this plant. But the problem is that if I consider the average skill, I should consider 100 out of 200, right? I should consider an harvesting skill. And it is what I think the formula breaks a bit, because, like, for example, now I have a 30 harvesting. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It just have to be directionally correct. You've got some apple. So yeah, so the problem is, what is the percentage? I mean, do we see it in the how do I probability 1. Amount 5. Amount 5. Animation duration 10 seconds. Skill level 10. You got some apple, but I still see 5. You put it in. You put it in a chest or what? Huh? This is kind of weird. So I already had 5 apples, right? And here it is telling me that I got some apples. What do you mean by some apple? Can you tell me how many I got? It's kind of annoying that it doesn't tell me how many I got. And also, unless there is another container, I put it here, 2 apples. Why put it here? No idea. Seriously. Why couldn't put it in the main inventory? That's kind of strange, huh? Did I reduce the sound to 0 or? Oh man. You've got some apples. I don't understand why just saying you got some, right? Instead of, but anyway, instead of telling you the count, which would have been nicer. Now it takes 10 seconds, and here the amount is 5. But I assume that it is the maximum number, so it is probably randomizing within. It's probably randomizing within that range, right? Is it? That is in a script. That is not in a. Oh, no, maybe it is. I don't know why you cannot tell me the number, right? Because we have the item and we have the... Yeah, I don't understand why here we have some instead of... New item is a PS item, no? Ah, is a PS item stats. Ay, 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 ay. Is a PS item stats. Yeah, well, we have set stack count, right? Stack count, yeah. I assume you also have a get stack count, right? No? We have, I mean, I can use stack count directly, but, right. Is quantity. Arr, how do I get the quantity of an item? Come on. Yeah, get stack count. But get stack count is on PS item. There is something a bit weird happening here. Because, yeah, actually, there is an item stats, right? And he's trying to set... I don't think we have a stack count on item stats. I don't think so. So wait a second. Item stats, right? New item. Yeah, exactly. But because here probably we don't have the number yet. Hey, no, because anyway, we can print result quantity, right? But I'm a bit surprised about this. Sorry, this is item, is not new item. Okay. Okay, sorry, I fucked up. Hello, Funner. Only if you already know where the apple trees are. Yeah, true, but I think we should not consider the time it takes you to find it, right? I think that we should consider the time where you know where it is. I prevented one of my friends going home because the amount of money I lend him to pay him off from my major line will make sure he needs to borrow any money will be from me. I will work with him starting saving to borrowing money. You get fancy things. You want to keep up with the trends. Yeah. You should, I don't know, find a job or do something else. I mean, it was very nice of you, but don't make it a habit, right? Because otherwise this guy will never get out of whatever it is. Sorry, I messed up. It was like this, right? I think you know why we said some. We said some so we didn't have to do the plural form, right? Because obviously if we say one apple is singular form, but 5 apple, it should be 5 apples, right? And so we didn't want to do the plural form, and so we just decided to do it this way because it was easier, Yeah, probably. Okay, but at least he will tell us the number. Now the plural form will be wrong, but it's fine. So like in this case, okay. So let me just check one thing. The result quantity, right? The result quantity is determined by who? It's probably inside a script. Very likely. Yeah. Result quantity. So how many you get is determined by a script. Which is kind of annoying because calculate mining chance. Well, mining chance, there is harvesting actually, but it's probably the same, huh? Yeah, I think it's the same. Unless there is an harvesting chance, but I think there is no. I think that mining and harvesting are going with for the odds. I think they are going with the same formula. Yeah, depends on the tool quality, depends on the player skill, obviously. Depends on the probability, but in this case probability is 1. Because then there is also the resulting quality, right? So, and if he has a higher quality, he has a higher price. But I think we should consider it with 50 quality. Max quantity is player skill divided by 20. Player skill divided by 20. So it's maximum 10. So it doesn't care at all about the amount. Oh wow. Yeah, it doesn't care at all about the amount. So the amount, this amount is actually used only for spawning items. That is for the items that are spawned to the ground. Just make it, you got apple, multiply by 3. Okay. I think it's not a bad idea. It's a bit less, you know, easy to read. Whatever, is a bit less, you know, English, but I can do that. But you got apple. But also you got apple is not good English, because it should be you got an apple. So I don't know. I think it's probably, now we can do the plural form. I think we already have a way to do plural forms somehow. If I don't remember, yeah, like we have the string utils plural. Get the plural form of a name. I think we have something that does this already. S, X, Z, E, S, H, H, S, E, S. I don't know. It should work now. Not completely sure, but in theory, if we get plural, in theory, we can use this. If we want to do it right. But this means that we have to do a kind of an if, right? We have to do a kind of an if, right? So if my resulting quantity we can see how it works if we want to do the plural properly. Because we use it in other places. So if result quantity is greater than 1, if result quantity is greater than 1, so the right? Okay. In theory, like this should do the plural form. Another scammer number got the prize of adding what to my voicemail inbox every time they call. Yeah, I have a lot of fake call. I mean, not scammer, but like people that are trying to sell you stuff, right? And I blocked the numbers. I blocked like dozens and dozens of numbers. They call to sell you like financial services or things like that, right? Or items of any kind or whatever. So they just call in and they say, hey, are you interested in this? Are you interested in that? Actually, there is a law in Italy where you can sign up for not to receive this kind of commercial calls, but they find a way to get around that. Now this one is just the log. You know, for us on the server. So we don't care about this one, right? So this one we just ignore it. Okay, but apart from that, right? Apart from that, if we are here and we are harvesting our apple, so what we found out is that there is actually a formula which is deciding the quantity based on the player skill. And since we said that we want to evaluate the cost always on the average player, so we will have to do it like if the player skill is 100, right? So 100 divided by 20 is what? 5, right? Is 5. So the average quantity that you get is 5, right? Assuming that you have 100 skill. This starts to be already a bit harvesting an apple. Harvesting an apple. So with skill 100, you get 5 apples per attempt, right? And the other problem is with skill 100, is the time reduced or not? Because that's another problem, right? If I increase my skill to, at the moment I have harvesting 30, right? But if I go to 100, okay, now I have 100 skill. Is the harvesting of the apple shorter? No. It's still 10 seconds. I unlocked a new achievement. Wow, that's nice. Which achievement did I unlock? Harvest any plant with 250 quality. Oh wow. Oh wow. Under what? Under harvesting? Only the finest. Harvest any plant with 250 quality. Oh nice. So you have an apple now with very high quality. Very good. I got 5 apples, 275. Wow, there must be a juicy one. Can I eat it? You eat the apple and feel better. Why is red? I don't know. Okay. So... So in our formula we say that no matter, I don't know how the timing is decided though. The timing is decided by this, by the animation duration. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think GG finding where is it, but time required. Yeah, actually, it is the animation duration in seconds taken from the natural resource. Oh, wow. Interesting. Interesting. Did we ever do an analysis of this? Or are they all at 10? Are they all at 10 or what? Animation duration. Animation duration in seconds by natural resource. Animation duration in seconds by natural resource in production. Ten, 15, 10. Okay, we don't have a lot of variability in this thing. So all the fishes are 15. All the mining and harvesting are 10. Interesting. Why? I don't know. But anyway, at the moment it's very simple, right? At the moment it's very simple. Uh, let me just put some additional information so that we have right. So, okay. So harvesting an apple. I would fall for that scam of juicy apple in plane shift. A good apple can eat the spot. I agree. Even if the apple is not the fruit that I like the most, I mean, there are much better fruit than an apple, but like, I don't know, a banana, a strawberry, or whatever. A kiwi, but in plane shift, maybe in plane shift, yeah. What is this picture? Don't remember this picture. Oh, nice. Fantastic. No, my phone, for whatever reason, my phone showed me some picture of last year. Okay. So to harvest an apple, it takes 66 seconds to reach the location from the main city, right? Obviously, this consider you go there to harvest once, right? But obviously you don't do that. So you go there and then you harvest maybe 1 million apples, right? But still, I think that this if the item drops from an activity with a chance P per attempt, the average attempt time TA hours. Travel divided by attempts. Now in our case is one. Average attempt time. So the average attempt time is 10. The travel is 66. And the quantity is 5. But how do we consider the fact that you can stay there forever, right? And harvest 1 million apples, right? So this 66 basically goes to 0. If you take this 66 and you divide it by 100 apples, right? I mean, the fact is that if you harvest it completely, this thing will go away. I mean, this tree will disappear, or will appear without apples. I remember there is like a 10 or whatever. There is a quantity. Yeah, exactly. You see. I mean, it really disappeared completely, but okay, that was a bit brutal, but it disappeared and it appears without apples, right? So if you are trying to harvest this one now, you cannot, right? You cannot even right click it anymore, right? Yeah, you cannot right click it anymore. While this one that has apples, because you can see them here, like here you see there is an apple there, here there is an apple, right? This one you can actually harvest, right? So I guess the point is that depending on how many, yeah, I think we should divide the maximum number per location. The maximum number per location. Yeah, this is already tough though. So time to reach the location. Then the other parameter is how many times I can successfully harvest. How many times I can successfully harvest, right? So that is the question. How many times? So how many times? I think that for every natural resource, we have an indication of the probably is the amount actually. Probably this one is the amount that you can harvest, not the amount. It could be. I don't remember exactly, but we can find out. What is the amount? The amount. Yeah, you see that fish is actually 1, but harvest is actually 5, and sometimes is 10. Sometimes is 4. Yeah, but most likely is this amount. I think it's this amount. So it's amount column in natural resources, right? Is amount column in natural resources. So in this case it's 5. So we can say you can harvest 5 times and then that location will disappear, right? Now, in this case, there is another location that is just next to it. So it's a bit annoying, but consider that another player may have harvested this already. May have harvested this already, right? So it may happen that you arrive here and there is nothing, right? So, so time to, okay. So how many times I can successfully harvest? 5. So I think we should divide, right, this by this, right? Because the we should divide this by this. I mean, it's like if you go there 5 times, so the time per attempt actually is, and then we have to divide it again by the quantity if we want to reach the quantity 1, right? So do we have to divide it by 25 then? If we divide it by 25, this number will basically be 2. 2.2 or something, right? So it is the number of seconds yes, I think our formula is the time to reach the location plus the time to harvest divided by this multiplied by that. No, wait a second, because every time I harvest, this one I do it once, but this one I do it every time, right? So this one is multiplied by 5, because I do it 5 times. While this one is divided by 5. Oh my god. Wait a second. So and plus in theory there is the quality, but the quality, I think at the moment we will ignore the quality. We assume that the resulting quality is 50, and we do all our reasoning with quality 50. So the quality for now we ignore. We ignore for now. Okay, we assume so we assume 50. So the quality we assume 50 and we ignore it for now. Okay. Now there is also the decay of the tool while you are, but the decay of the tool is so small I would not consider it. I would not consider it. Okay, so our formula is what? Is the time to reach the location divided by this, and plus the time to harvest divided by this. No. Plus the time to harvest multiplied by how many times you can harvest, right? And then everything divided by the result. Okay, let's say that let's give names to these things, right? So time to reach the location is TTRL. Okay, this thing. TTRL. So we do TTRL, time to reach the location, divided by the number of harvests, which we call H, multiplied by the quantity. Okay, so this basically gives us what? This gives us how many seconds per apple you invested in your travel, correct? So this is, this is 66 divided by this multiplied by this, right? So we say that for every apple that you get, you invested 2.6 seconds of travel. Yeah, I think probably the travel time we can delete one day. I don't know. I think it's probably too little to actually be meaningful, but anyway. So this will be the cost, right? The travel time cost per. So that is the time per apple. This is the travel time. This is the travel time per apple. Travel time per apple, right? Yes. Which is basically travel time divided by times of harvest divided by quantity per harvest. Okay, so it's this thing. Okay, so for every apple you invest 2.64 seconds. So we are saying that it is easy, right? Because you get a lot of apples and this place is very close. Because it takes you less than a minute to go there, right? So yeah. Then we need the time to harvest per apple, right? And the time to harvest per apple is what? Is this multiplied by this? So is this divided by? Is this divided by exactly the same thing, right? This multiplied. No. Wait, no, because you get 5 quantity. So is this divided by the quantity? Yeah. Yes. Divided by the quantity. So it takes you 2 seconds to. So that is the time to harvest divided by the quantity that you get. Okay. Okay. So basically the total time per apple, right? The total time per apple is this plus that, right? Is this plus this. So we say that on average, it takes you 4.64 seconds to a player with an average skill to get one apple. Right? Now. So basically now we are in seconds, right? We don't have it in hours, but anyway, we have it in seconds. Right? We have it in seconds. If we want to do it in hours, we just divide it by 3,600, whatever. So our T, even if it is expressed in seconds, is 4.64. Is 4.64. Now he's saying W is the baseline per hour. Can we have it per second? No. Well, we can transform this and do it in hours, right? And do it in hours. So how many hours is this? There is 0.00128888888888 hours, right? So that's the amount of hours. Okay. Total apple in hours. So now we have the W. The W is the designer baseline per hour value. So how much TRIA we get per hour? Well, per hour, I think an hour is a lot, right? An hour is a lot. So how much money per hour we want you to make? Okay, and this is the most important decision, I would say, right? But let's say that in 1 hour, I would like you to make, I don't know, 5,000. Let's say 5. Yeah, and you understand that now everything depends on this, because now this 5,000 will determine the price of everything, right? But anyway, let's say 5,000 for a second, okay? 5,000 TRIA. So that's the currency we have in game, right? So we say in 1 hour you get 5,000 TRIA. Then we have a utility multiplier representing relative usage and power. Default is 1, best by category cosmetic 0609, convenience 09012, combat tune per game. Yeah, that is a kind of an interesting one. So you may say, well, considering that the item is more useful in the game, right? We apply a factor. I mean, at the moment we can leave it as 1, right? But I think it kind of makes sense. So very, very rare items can have an additional multiplier. But for now, we keep it at 1, right? Keep it at 1 for now, right? Keep it at 1 for now. Keep it at 1 for now. Okay. So now we have our price. So now we can find out how much an apple would cost. So now we have our price, which is T multiplied by W whatever GG. Right? We have our price, which is T, which is the total time per hour, right? Multiplied by our W plus, the CFI, production or crafting cost in resources. Okay, so if you have additional resources that you have to put into that, now in theory you have the tool, right? So I have a tool, which is this one, right? I have this tool, and this tool is used to harvest. If you don't have it, you cannot harvest, right? And this tool actually has a cost. But I mean, I think if the tool is not consumed, right, in the crafting, then I think we can consider it basically zero cost, right? So the CP for us in this case is, so this is materials consumed in the production, right? Material consumed in the production, in this case is 0. In this case is 0. So we do this plus 0, right? Everything what is going on? Yeah, multiplication happens first, right? So everything multiplied by my utility factor, right? Wow, that's kind of nice though, because an apple is costing 5. Is an apple costing 5 today? I think an apple costs 5. No? Can I sell an apple to this guy? Can I sell you an apple? No. I cannot sell him an apple. Ay, 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 ay. Who's buying apples in this? I mean, is the apple under what? The apple is under food ingredients. Who's buying food ingredients in the city? Jomed? Yeah, Jomed for sure. Jomed, huh? I don't have the map. Jeez. Okay, anyway. I think Jomed is buying... hello, Ondren. I think Jomed is buying food ingredients. Right? This guy. Yes, he's buying food ingredients. So he's buying my apple at 5. That is very nice, my boys. That is very nice. We did 1 hour of calculation and we found out that the price is already correct. Ah, fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, it is already correct, obviously, with the 5,000 per hour kind of concept, right? The 5,000 per hour concept. So the apple is priced properly. I mean, we could move it to 6, right? But yeah, also consider that when he's buying, I don't know if I sell, sorry. If I sell, it will be 4 probably. Yeah, but here you see that it's changing a lot for the quality, because this apple, yeah, exactly. If the quality is 160, should I then do the average quality? It's increasing a lot, huh? I mean, 275 is basically, you know, is 5 times the base price. Yeah, because it's also 5 times the quality, right? But it doesn't seem to be linear though. It seems to be because like a 125. Well, it is a bit. Well, no. Because 50, yeah, I think it's geared around 100 probably. Because 160 is 10. This is skewing things a lot though. This is skewing things a lot. That is skewing things a lot because the base price is varying so much on quality. And the so I think we should consider that the quality is maximum 300, right? 300. So hello, first last 500 tria per hour is way too little for a 100 skill, to be honest. Well, because you see it in the current economy, right? So I'm just trying to set a value. Consider that based on this value that we set, right? We can say 50,000, okay? We can say 50,000. But what I'm thinking is that I want to bring back the value of stuff to a reasonable level, right? So this means that all the prices need to change. All the prices need to change. And all the money that you have needs to be changed based on that as well. So if you have 1 million today, and I change all the prices in the game, maybe that 1 million becomes 10 millions or becomes 10k, right? So I think it's just a relative thing, right? So because you, at the moment you have a sense of how much 5,000 is in the game, and you are saying it's very little, and I know why you say it's very little, because like if you sell a weapon of any kind, if you go back to Arnquist, right? Because if you loot a weapon from a monster, right, and then you sell it to this guy, I sell this mace. Well, this mace is kind of a basic one, but it's 800. Can I sell this one? A longsword? Yeah. So this one is already 2,700, right? It's already 2,700. So if you loot like 2 weapons from monsters, right, you already get like the 5,000. And so you're saying, oh, it's too little because I can do that in way less than an hour, right? I can do that in 5 minutes. I go to the sewers and I start to kill some monsters and yeah, and I understand that, but we are trying to set a value. Now I can set 50k, I can set 500k, but it's just to understand. It's just to understand what is the current value. So basically, what we are saying that with this setting of 5,000. So if you want to make 5,000 coins just by selling apples, it takes you 1 hour. Which at the end is not true, because we already saw that higher quality apples are selling for so much more. And I don't know if that formula is really correct. I don't know if that formula is really correct. It looks to me very exponential, right? It looks to me very, very, very exponential. I mean, it seems to me, I mean, I understand that this quality is 5 times, but should it be 5 times? I mean, I mean, if you buy an apple now, it's a bit stupid to look at the real life, but if I look at the cost of an apple in Italy, minimum and maximum, based on quality, I don't know, I think it will never be 5 times, right? The cost of a single apple in Italy varies based on the season and type, with wholesale price ranging approximately from 0.45 to 0.93 euro. With retail price are likely higher. For example, a bulk purchase of Crisp Pink is always quoted as 0.45 per kilo. Okay, per kilo, but okay, it's per kilo. Another variety like Fuji or Golden Delicious are going up to 93, right? And here we are also speaking about basically the same apple, right? The same apple, just harvested at better quality. So meaning that you were able to select the best apple in the tree, right? Somehow. I mean, it's a bit of a weird concept, but I mean, it's the same apple type. It's not a golden apple. It's not a Fuji apple. It's the same apple. It's just with a higher quality, because maybe it's more mature. I don't know. It's more juicy. It's more whatever. But it's the same apple, right? So not even changing the type, we are 5 times, right? And here changing the types, we are maximum double, right? Maximum double. Now I don't know why this formula of quality, of price by quality, is so strong, right? Why so strong? These are all our formulas, by the way. We have a million. Calculate item price, right? Calculate item price and calculate item sell price. Well, sell price is just 0.8, so the merchant is taking a 20% cut if he's buying. But apart from this, which we don't care, this is the formula, right? And I think I have it already. In quality divided by max quality. Well, this quality divided by max quality is just the fact that the apple or the tool may be ruined, right? May be ruined. But let's consider that this is 1. Right? Let's consider this is 1, so that the quality divided by max quality is actually 1. So this is 1 multiplied by 1.5, so it's basically 1.5 exponential price divided by 1.5, right? So if I say 1x equal to 1.5 of y divided whatever, right? Can you plot it? Thank you. Doesn't plot it. I remember Google was plotting things one time. Here it is. You have to put the y first. Right, so this is our graph. This is our graph. Fantastic. Yeah, so it's basically exponential 1.5, right? Somehow. With a medium point, right? With a medium point of 1. So if you what? How can it be negative though? I think it will never be negative, right? So it is starting at, because my x, which is my price, is never negative, right? So basically this thing is done so that it starts at 1, right? It starts at 1 and then it basically goes up exponentially, right? I mean, it's not a 2 exponential, but it's a 1.5 exponential, but still is very, very strong. So the only thing that doesn't compute at the moment is that if this is 4 times, this is not 4 times. It's slightly less than 4 times. Well, it's actually 3 times. If this is 10 times though, that is insanely, right? If this is 10 times, oh my god, this exponential goes to Jesus. Look at that. So I think that this formula needs to be changed. I think this formula is too kind to you players. Well, it may be good for the crafters, because obviously if I craft something with high quality, maybe we should do the opposite. Maybe we should keep the formula for crafting, but yeah, the problem is that if I take this weapon, right? I think we have to, probably what we can do, we can lower the variance of quality in the raw materials like an apple. So we can say that an apple quality can maximum vary from 50 to 60. Now if we do that, we may have an issue with the resulting crafting recipe, because you will have a lower resulting recipe, right? Which is kind of annoying. So I have to be sure that I don't break that. So I have to be very careful what I'm doing here. I mean, I'm not doing any changes, right? I'm just reasoning at the moment. I'm just reasoning. But the point is that this weapon sells for 2779, right? If for whatever reason this weapon was crafted and this quality is 150 out of 150, right? You see that the price is already 6,300, so he doubled, a bit more than doubled. And this weapon is a 300 out of 300, which is the maximum he can reach. Wow. Wow. That is now 21,000, right? Wow. 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 Okay, I think we found out why people are making so much money in this game. It's due to this single formula. I mean, on one side I'm happy about it because it motivates the crafters, right? Because crafting takes a lot of time. But at the same time, I think it should be based on the formula that we wrote here, right? So we should have, instead of harvesting apple, right, we should have another example, which is crafting, crafting a longsword, right? And with the same timing, how much time it takes me, blah, 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 and then see the result. But the quality is a problem. The quality is a problem because the current formula is insane. Which is nice because he motivates the crafter. So, but I think it should be nice. I don't know how to explain, but I have pretty much in my mind, right? Let me try to explain it. So what I mean is that there is the price of the raw materials, right? And this is, for example, the ore that you need to put to make a longsword, right? Oops, that's too small. So you have the raw materials, right? And the raw materials are already a cost in terms of time to find them, smelt them, blah, 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 blah. Then there is it is already a cost. Then there is the cost of, wait, but here there is already the quality, right? Here there is already the quality. So let's say there is the raw material gathering and smelting and whatever. Then there is the raw material way. Probably it's easier if I do it another way. Let me do it another way. Let me do it another way. So we have the raw materials. We have the raw materials gathering. Then we have the raw materials, for example, smelting. In case it's a sword, obviously it's not always the case. Like if you're making a cake, obviously you don't smelt it. But keep following this, right? There is the gathering, there is the smelting, and then there is the actual crafting of the. Well, it may be made of multiple pieces, right? So, but anyway, there is the craft, there is the quality, right? There is the resulting quality, right? There is the resulting quality of the raw materials. So this is all the raw materials, right? This is all the raw materials, yeah. This is all the raw materials. So what I'm saying that then there is the, so yeah, and the problem is that the variability of the quality at the moment is insane. So that while the so the gathering is that much cost, the smelting is that much cost, but the quality is insanely high. And then you have another process where you are producing the components, right? And every component, and the component again is made of two pieces. Is made of the assembly and transformations. But let's say crafting. Let's say crafting, and then there is here also the quality, right? And then there is like the final item, right? The final item, which is, you know, the crafting and assembly and the quality. So these are all the pieces that today in our game are determining the cost in terms of how much time it takes you, right? How much time it takes you, right, to do this thing. And so what I'm saying at the moment is that the quality, you know, so the moment what I'm saying is that if the crafting is a piece, right? If the crafting is a piece, now in theory it should go higher, right? Because it is the result, right? It is the final price, is the result of all of this, right? So maybe I should just do it differently because otherwise we don't have enough space. So let's say that, right? Let's say that, let's say that the gathering is that much, the smelting is that much, right? At the moment, the quality varies incredibly, right? So it's like 5 times this. Then you start to do the component crafting, which is another small piece like that. But then the quality is going again like crazy because it's 5 times, right, this thing. And then you have the crafting of the final component, which is this piece. And then again you have the quality, which is insanely high, right? So what I'm saying is that the end result of this, what I'm saying is that the end result of this is At the end there is, so the variability of this is too much. This is what I'm saying, right? These three pieces are varying too much. So I have few ways to fix this, right? So I can reduce the quality variability, but anyway increase the base price. Yeah, exactly. So what I have to do, I have to completely rebalance the quality versus the crafting time. So the blue pieces are the ones that really matter at the end. Because it's true that the red pieces are based on your skill, right? Because based on your, so the more skill you have, the better items you create. But it is really that we want to have a variability of like 10 times if you can produce a 300 quality. Now I don't know at which rank can you produce a 300 quality. I think it depends on a lot of stuff. It depends also on the components, right? And on the raw material, because if you start from very shitty raw materials, I think it is harder to get a very nice final item. And I think that this thing is completely unbalanced today. My feeling is that this thing is completely unbalanced. Or anyway, we tried to balance it long time ago, and we never looked at it again. Now, the only good news is that when you loot from monsters, you never get higher quality. And it is done by purpose. It's done to motivate the crafters, right, to craft, so that they can get higher money from crafting than from, yeah, because the problem is that if you don't do that, right, if this is not that high, people will say, why I have to craft something if I can just loot it from a monster, right? Now, monsters don't really drop everything, but pretty much, I mean, they drop a lot. They drop a lot. So the problem is, if I go in a dungeon, right? If I go in a dungeon and I find 10 weapons, right? And I find 10 weapons in half an hour, right? And the result is 500 in 1 hour. Let's say in 1 hour. Well, I mean, it's not the current math, but let's say that I would like, right? If it takes 1 hour of apples to generate 5,000 tria, I would like 1 hour of monster hunting to generate also 5,000 tria, right? Unless we consider that monster hunting is a better activity and we want to promote it, and so is more fun and whatever, but it's already more fun, right? So in theory, I mean, it should produce something similar. This is what I'm saying. It should produce a similar value. So 1 hour of game time should always produce the same amount of money. 1 hour of game time. Do you agree to this or no? Do you agree that whatever activity you do for 1 hour of your time on average, now don't say, oh no, because if you find a very rare weapon, no, because a very rare weapon is anyway divided by the probability, right? So in 1 hour, you have maybe 1% probability to get that weapon. So you will need 100 hours to get it at 100% success, right? So don't put the rarity of the weapons into the formula, right? So if a weapon is very, 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 very rare, considered in 1 hour, you get 100 of that weapon. A piece, you know? Understand that? So in 1 hour of monster hunting, you get 5,000. In 1 hour of apples, you get 5,000. In 1 hour of crafting, you get 5,000. In 1 hour of questing, you get 5,000, right? And so on. So everything needs to be the same value. If everything is the same value, then the economy starts to make sense. Basically, all the jobs become immediately all viable, right? While if you say, gathering apples is 5,000, but monster hunting, right? Monster hunting is 10,000 per hour. No one will gather apples, right? No one will ever do it, right? While what we want to do, we want to have all the activities in the game roughly balanced. So if you want to be a cook, right? If you want to be a cook and sell your pies, you should be able to make pretty much the same money of someone that is a lumberjack and is selling wood. Now, the problem of this idea is that there are jobs that require materials from other people. Yeah, but it's exactly the point, right? So if here I'm gathering iron ore, whatever, right? Well, I move it because I think I'm in front of it. If here I'm gathering iron ore, right? And you can say, 1 hour of gathering iron ore gives you 5,000. Okay. 1 hour of gathering iron ore gives you 5,000. Then I have to smelt it. So 1 hour of smelting iron ore should also give you 5,000 or not? How many hours for buying a cart? Exactly. So if we consider the quest, right? How much time the quest takes to complete. So for example, it takes, 1 hour. Then our cart should be worth 5,000. You understand the logic? So if you going to the NPC, speaking with the NPC, then going to the rogues, finding the rogues, killing the rogues, getting back, getting the materials and all of that, and then making the cart takes 2 hours, then it should be 10,000 Tria. So the cost of that cart should be 10,000 Tria, if it's the only way to obtain it. Now, if there are multiple ways to obtain it, is a bit of a problem, right? But it is the kind of the same, right, for a resource. So if you say, you can get an apple from the tree, or you can buy the apple from the merchant. Well, no, this is not a good example, because the buying from the merchant should be the hourly cost, right? But no, let's say that you can get the apple from 2 places, right? In the map, there is one place which is a nearby city where you get the apples, and then there is another city that is very, 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 very far, and you can still get the apple, right? Now, this is kind of a problem, obviously, because, well, we will consider always the closest one, right? We will always consider the closest one. So if you really want to go here, you can do it. But basically, no one will do it, right? No one will ever go to that city to get an apple unless they really need it in that place, because they have to cook something. They have to bake something, and they really need it. But in theory, no one will go there. And this is why I think that resources next to certain cities make trades meaningful, right? Because if I have resources next to a city, for example, this city is producing apples, this city is producing wood, this city is producing iron, and this city is producing gold, right? Then the trades start to happen, right? The trades start to happen. So I think if we can reduce the resources, I mean, if we can have localized resources, right, that is better. Because then cities may trade those resources. Now, and this is why I think in our formula, we said that we will consider always the travel time. Actually, I said from the main city. I thought I said from the closest large city. Because if we consider it from the main city, then obviously gold. Imagine that here we have gold, right? Imagine that here we have gold, and here we have iron, right? And here we have iron. I mean, gold will cost now. Imagine the opposite, right? But anyway, gold will cost more than iron, right? If this is the main city. If this is the main city, gold will cost less than iron. So I think that is something that I still don't understand exactly how to do, right? So if the distance that we calculate is or we just avoid calculating the distance completely. So the material is just how hard it is to extract it, no matter where it is. So we basically make the travel time 0. We make the travel time 0. Well, but for example, a resource can be in a dangerous place, right? So you can have certain resources that are in dangerous places. So to go there, you have to fight some monsters. So it takes you way more time and resources to reach it. Now, I don't want to make it perfect. I just want to make it not completely broken like it is today. So I want to go from completely broken to fine. I don't want to go from completely broken to perfect, right? But today, this is completely broken. Completely broken. And the best example of how broken it is this formula that we just saw, right? Even if this is done only by crafting, but anyway. So crafting is very, very remunerative in the game, which is nice, by the way. I like it. It's not that I don't like it. I like it. But I think it's a bit too much. And also, I would argue, is this true for every craft? Yeah, it is true for every craft. Because if I take a pie, I assume that if I take a pie and I want to sell it... Yum. If I take a pie and I want to sell it to this guy, no, to the other guy. No. The pie is not... Yeah, the pie is food preparation. Ah, yeah, sell, sorry, sell. Sell food, yeah, exactly. So a pie, for example, a pie is 80, right? Do we know how much it takes to craft the pie? I mean, yes and no, right? So I don't think we calculated exactly the time it takes to craft the pie. And this is what I would like the game to do kind of automatically if we can, right? So that is taking our formulas, is taking the time, is taking the materials, and is then just summing up all those activities. So it's summing up the gathering, the smelting, the quality, the crafting, and it reaches a final value and is setting that value to the item. Right? But I think if I take this pie and I make it quality 300, right? And I try to sell it again. From 80, we go to 607, which is not exactly 10 times, but anyway, it is anyway 8 times or so. Right now, I don't know. I don't know what happens if I go higher than 300. Now, in theory, it's impossible to go higher than 300. But just for fun, 1 second, because that thing was really exponential, right? It was going up like crazy. It's capping it. It's capped. You cannot go. Even if I add it with even if I add it with GM tools, is not going above 300. There is a check in the code that is bringing it back to 300. Okay, so is not possible to go above 300. Okay, which is nice. Now, if this is quality 1 out of 300, so basically the pie is completely broken. You may ask me, how can a pie be broken? I mean, if you eat it all, there are just some crumbles remaining. So the price goes down to 2, right? So from 80, so yeah, so the current quality versus max quality is making a huge difference today. But huge difference. Now we can keep the quality off this discussion, right? Like if we fix the system ignoring the quality, I think we still be a success, right? Because then we can reason on the quality separately, right? But yeah, exactly. I think we could ignore the quality for now. I think we can. I think we can ignore the quality and then say, oh, we fix the quality later on. And we consider everything 50 for now. Because at the end, the quality is only affecting the craft. It's basically a bonus to crafting. It's a bonus to crafting. My fear, you know what is my fear? My fear is that if I consider the time that it takes to actually craft this pie, right? I don't know how much time it takes, but or whatever, a dish with fishes, right? If I take any of this thing like pan fried carp, right? This pan fried carp, consider you have to go through all this process. So you need to find the fish. Yeah, and this is already a problem because if I want to, because I can buy a fish, right? I think every item that has more than one source is a problem. Because I can buy a carp fish for 70. How much time does it take me to fish one? First of all, I need the bait. First of all, I need the bait. Is anyone selling baits? No, I don't think anyone is selling. Well, maybe someone is selling the basic baits. No. No. You can make the basic baits by just taking a fish and splitting it on a table. If I remember right. I mean, I did it, but I already had 58. I think I can. I think I can cut. Right, I can cut a carp fish into. I think I need. What do I need? I need a book for basic cooking. I think I need a book for basic cooking. Making baits. No, I need making baits. I need the I think there is. Yeah, there is the book fishing bait. No, there is a book for making baits, so I need that. Fishing baits. Anyway, guys, this discussion is not an easy discussion, so it will take me quite some time. What do you mean you are not sure what to do with this? Okay, I didn't have this selected. I didn't have it selected. So, for example, look at the time it takes, right? Look at the time it takes. So, making the bait for the fish, starting from here, starting from one carp fish, is taking probably 1 minute. At my skill, which obviously is not very high. Well, we make 20 though. We make 20 baits out of one fish, which is not bad. But I need to have a cooking skill of 5. What do you mean? I'm doing it. I'm doing it at the moment. Do you think I will mess up? Do you think I will mess up by doing this? Time is saying 10, but I think it's saying 10 with 5 in cooking. Unfortunately, I think I have 0 in cooking. So am I just destroying the fish? I have 0 in cooking. So probably is multiplying that by 5 times. So is 50. No, this looks longer than 50 seconds, by the way. Yeah, it's 200. It's 200 seconds. is 200 seconds. So, and probably I will just destroy it. That's not very good though. Why we have the cut fish at 10 skill? No, we have it at 5 skill. Yeah, we have it at 5 skill. I don't know if it's a great idea. But okay. So basically we are saying that you cannot fish until you have a bit of knowledge of the cooking. I don't know if it's a great idea. I think that there are people that are just fishing and there are people that are cooking. So I think that cutting the fish into pieces should be very, very easy to make baits. I think it is a bit of a mistake actually now that I look at it. But yeah, I have 0 in cooking, so 0 obviously is waiting on this time. So it's more than 3 minutes, right? It's more than 3 minutes, but then you make 20 baits. And with 20 baits, potentially you catch, I don't know, assuming that you catch a fish every, 50% of the time, you will catch 10 carp fishes. And then you are selling the 10 carp fishes for 70 each. Yeah, exactly. So here we failed because my skill is not good enough. So we basically made a... Can I eat it? Can I eat the sticky goo without dying? I just did it. So as you can see, there are a lot of aspect into this discussion, right? It's very hard to balance things without starting from the beginning. So starting from the raw materials, and then from the raw materials going up and understanding how hard it is to get the material, how much time it takes to get it, what are the chances to get it, and then the quality, but let's leave it out. Then the smelting or the processing or the crafting of that raw material, and then the assembly into a new component, and then the assembly into the final item, and all that time and resources determines the final price, right? And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it cannot be broken. And I think we already did this reasoning somehow, right? So we so for example, I sell a carp fish for 56. So a carp fish is 10 times harder than an apple to gather it, right? So to gather an apple or to gather a carp fish with the current price, it is 10 times harder. Doesn't seem to be too bad, you know, as a comparison if you think about it, because the apple is just there, you know, out of town, super easy. So I think that the... I don't know if I can apply. I don't know if I can apply the quality formula differently for the raw materials or for the crafted materials, right? Because I see that here the prices are going like super crazy. But again, I think we should consider the quality out of the discussion. The quality should be out of the discussion for now because it's too complex otherwise. So let's forget the quality. All our apples will be 50-50, right? 50-50. I mean, the ones that we use as an example, the one that we use as an example for crafting. And also, I don't know if the 50-50 ones, right, are then influencing the result of the apple pie, for example. Right? So if you make an apple pie, obviously these ones are affecting the overall quality. But for now, let's consider that, well, I don't know if with 50-50 apples you can make a 50-50 pie, or if it goes down. I think it goes up thanks to your skill. So the skill is another big influencer. Probably, yeah, is the most important influencer on the quality in the crafting, in the resulting quality of crafting. Yeah, yeah. I should stop thinking about quality because otherwise we don't go anywhere. We don't go anywhere. I think. So I can actually sell for 4. The thing that I don't understand too much is... this. If I want to calculate the cost of... if I want to calculate the cost of the looted items, right? So I go down here and I attack this freaking rat and I get stuff, right? Why my inventory should always be full, like no space anywhere? By the way, you should not be able to eat 20 apples in 1 minute, but fine. If I kill this guy, and I loot it, and I get these 2 things from him, now it's true that I need to find someone that is buying, because like these ones are animal parts, right? And not everyone is buying animal parts, right? Who's buying animal parts? No, I think Arnquist, I removed it, right? Is Jomed buying animal parts? Who's buying animal parts? No, Jomed is not. Who's buying animal parts in Idlam? merchant by 1 second, because this may pop up a bit too much of a spoiler. Merchant by category, yes. Animal parts in Idla is Rolara. Only one person, huh? Only one person. Only one person. Why is she so dark? 28. I mean, looking at these prices, I mean, they cannot look decent, right? So like if an apple is 5 and a pie is 70 and a carp fish is 70 and 2 items I'm getting from fighting is 28. I mean, it's not that bad, but yeah, but already I think that fighting rats is winning over gathering materials, right? Because I got those 50 in a second. Well, because I just killed him. But anyway, let's say an average player will be able to kill a rat easy, right? And I got 50 coins. And I got 50 coins, assuming that I know that this girl is selling them, right? But I got 50 coins. And this is what I'm getting. This is what I'm getting from a rat, but obviously if I go a bit deeper, right? Well, I have to go kind of way deeper, but yeah, like here, right? Like here. Clacker carapace. $59. It seems to be kind of reasonable, though. I don't know what you think. Hello, Sumath. Hey. I don't know what you think, but these prices seems to be reasonable related to each other. So I think what is really skewing things is crafting. But crafting, I think, is done by purpose, right? Crafting is done by purpose. I have to think more about this, but I think we made some step forward. Now, it's not that I want to change the economy tomorrow, but I think that we need to understand, right? We need to understand. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking that if I could log, right? If I could log all the transactions of a player Well, actually, all the transactions of all the players. Why I'm so dark? Because there is darkness in that place, huh? If I could log in economy because we actually have an economy manager class, right? An economy manager was originally, let me see if it's still here. We are not using it too much. No, economy manager actually probably was not ported. Yeah, economy manager was not ported. But economy manager, what he was doing, he was keeping track of all the items sold and all the item bought, and he was in theory supposed to then in the future, not now but in the future, vary the prices based on inflation, right? So if a million people are trying to sell the same sword, that sword will go down in price over time, I would say. So if for a long time no one is selling it, then he will gain his base price again, right? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go. It's about midnight. I don't have a lot more to think on this. I mean, there is a lot more, but not tonight, right? Not tonight. I think we did some good tests. I think we did some good tests, and this formula to me kind of makes sense. I wanted to validate if this formula was actually meaningful or not, and to me it is meaningful. I mean, the travel time, probably the travel time is the only one that I'm not completely convinced, right? Because you don't know exactly where. Nice to know that all these words are not the same in game. No, there are a lot of differences because you have the base and then you have all the enhancements and then you have all the qualities. So they are all different, yeah. They're all different. But I'm trying to understand how do I mean, I'm trying to understand what I want to fix, right? If I want to fix the ore, I mean the raw materials value based on the rarity so that then everything changes accordingly or not. I mean, I need to slice this problem somehow, because otherwise it's too big of a problem, right? It's too big. There are too many dimensions. If you start to add the crafting, the gathering, the looting, the quest, it's too much stuff, right? It's too much stuff. So, which is basically all of this, right? Is all of this. So there are specific monsters and chest loots. They give you money, they give you base items, they even give you randomized items. And randomized items have modifiers, and those modifiers have a price increase, right? So there are certain weapons that are very, very costly, right? Because they are super rare. And then you can get, items by mining, by harvesting, by crafting, by fishing, and you can even get money from minigames. So, but anyway, it is a bit of a special case. But definitely these are all places where you get money. I think that crafting should actually be a separate discussion. I think what I'm thinking at the moment is that if I fix the problem, because crafting is really kind of a special one, because is not a base. So it's not a direct value, right? I think crafting should be kind of his own discussion. First of all, because there is quality. Well, there is actually quality also here in mining, harvesting, and fishing. But what I'm thinking, if I can fix, right? If I can fix the hour, the money, the coins per hour between mining, harvesting, and fishing, and dungeon looting and monster looting, I think that would already be a good starting point. And then I can do a second pass on crafting. Yeah, I think I should do it this way. I think I should have a separate crafting discussion. I think crafting should be its own chapter somehow. Because then we want to balance between the different crafting, right? So we want to balance between I don't know, alchemy, herbalism, whatever, cooking, baking, brewing, I mean all the freaking things, right? So we want, and then obviously weapons making, right? Shields making, whatever, armor making. So I think I have to balance, right? I have to balance the base resources, the raw material. I have to balance the raw material extraction. So this needs to be the same. Per hour. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm reaching a point where I'm understanding better what I want. So I think what I want is we do a first pass, right? We do a first pass, which is raw materials. And raw materials is this. Now where harvesting actually is a bit of a special one, because harvesting, I think harvesting plants and harvesting wood is kind of different, right? Yes. I think it is a bit different in terms of timing. So I cannot apply the same formula actually. I cannot apply the same formula because it takes a different time, and also wood is extremely easy to reach, right? So if I do a first pass, right? If I do a first pass on raw materials, and I ensure that mining, harvesting wood, harvesting plant fruits, and fishing have the same output of money per hour, same output of money per hour, excluding quality, excluding quality. And then I do a second pass. The quest, I think, is very hard. The quest is like... The quest, I think, is super hard. The quest, I think, is super hard. But anyway. So we do a second pass where we... and then maybe I have... and then maybe I have kind of an additional category, which is like random additional stuff, right? This is like more like complex stuff, you know, various, I don't know. Like quest, mini games, I think is not that easy. Because quests are actually giving items, quests are giving money, and quests are giving items. So I think we need to, but anyway, I think this will be very hard to calculate and to make it, because we cannot change the quest easily. So, well, we can change the reward though. So yeah, we can change the reward. Like if it gives you an X today, we can say give 2 X's, but I think this one is kind of very hard to consider. So actually, I think that we can do crafting before this. So this will be the third pass somehow. So why I'm saying here monster and chest loot are separate from dungeons? What do you mean? Anyway, I think I understand what I mean. But in theory, yeah, because there are chests that are spawning around the maps, right? And there are chests that are spawning inside dungeons. But anyway, it's fine. Is fine. For each one we have money, base item, random. So I think so let's imagine for a second that we do this. We do a first pass where we normalize the amount of money per hour that you get by doing this. Should we group? Should we change job? Should we? group jobs differently. I mean, like, because fishing, harvesting, and mining actually are together. I mean, they should go together somehow. They should go together. I mean, I'm fine that they are all under jobs, but I'm thinking, but anyway, maybe it's a minor point, but they say they should really be grouped, right? Because they are jewelry making, knife making, leather working, mace making, masonry, metallurgy, mining, painting, pottery, repair armor, repair tools. Huh? Not currently implemented. Shield making, tailoring, tool making. Anyway, for sure, fishing, mining, and harvesting are together. And then I don't know if I want to split more the crafting. No, but I was saying no. I mean, each one of those can be each one is a job, right? Each one is a job. So actually you may decide to do bow making only, right? Or do brewing only, right? Or do cooking only. So I think you can specialize in any of those and reach the maximum. We should probably redo this window one day. I think, I think that this window must become a full screen window. I think that this must become a full screen window. And the jobs must be organized differently. And all these things should be visible only, I don't know, only when you click on the skill. I don't know, I have to think about it. But at the moment, this is pretty bad. And I think we should change it. Maybe that's the next thing that I do. Maybe that's the next. Also, because, I would like to group them. I would like to group, again, harvesting, fishing, and mining, and call it like raw materials skills. Then I would like to group all the ones that are like alchemy, herbal, all of that, in a more of a science group. And then I would like to group all the armor making, axe making, blacksmith, blades, bow, in a kind of a weapon, or in a kind of a, I don't know, military or whatever you want to call it, right? So weapons and armor group. And then I would like to group all the ones that are not implemented, right? All the ones that are not implemented, I think they should be in a separate group at the bottom of the page that no one sees, because at the moment it is very hard to navigate. And then we definitely need to fix these things, right? That at the moment are valid for some skills, like alchemy has some, but this one doesn't have any. So, but anyway, apart from this, which is something I think we have to do. I think we have to redo the screen, right? We have to redo the screen. There's no way. We have to redo it. I mean, it would be nice to have pictures, to have some more indications. I mean, nicer stuff, better progress bar, better explanation of what it is. So, I think we need to remake. I think I will remake this. Also, the faction can probably go in a separate place, because I think in this window are very, very, very tight. Yeah, that I think would be a good thing to do. But anyway, apart from this, I'm just reasoning on the different skills that gives you money. For example, this one do not give you money. These ones do not give you money. Well, in theory, pickpocket. We never implemented it though, but pickpocket. Or lockpick. Well, lockpick. Well. Nah, but they don't give you money. The one that give you money are under jobs. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna go, but I think it's a good reasoning. So what we want to do, we want to ensure that this is the same output per hour. Then this is the same output per hour roughly. And then this is the same output per hour roughly. Where all the items that are included in these crafts should be balanced by the time it takes to make them and the raw material that it takes to make them, right? So, yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching and listening. Tomorrow I will be here. I think I will be here. 9:30 p.m. European time. Meanwhile, if you want to click on follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, remember to do it. Also, you have a Prime sub. Why not use a Prime sub on us? That would be very nice. And remember, you can download our game for free for Windows, Linux, and Mac just on our page. The game is up and running. You can play it right now if you want. And with that, I'm gonna go. Bye bye. Have a good night.